I thought that I was going to be doing this small essay collection about these shootings that were off of the path. You know, people weren't talking about them anymore. And I thought, well, what I should do is the first one should be the first one that was on television. And I'll get my brain around that and figure out some piece of it that wasn't discussed. And then that just got more complicated, and what kept drawing me back was the religious part. And I realized, we tend in the US not to talk about religion as a factor in violence unless it suits us politically.
Since I was working from an excerpt of a nonfiction book, it made me think about the research that you had to do. In a way, these different materials reflect the kind of search to piece the narrative together.
Yeah.
The different sources where these all come from. I was fortunate enough to get many pages of torn out antique paper from the conservator from, I believe it was Yale. When he passed away, he bequeathed all his tools and his materials for book restoration to UC Riverside. So these papers that are in this piece came from that collection. The main colors that I worked with were green, red, white, gold. If you look at illuminated manuscripts, you'll see, there'll be all this black text and then titles or saints' names. Their names are in red to highlight something important. So I used red as a means to signify that. So if there's a Christogram, it's often in red. The flesh, very red. And I mean, it's it's a little on the nose, but this story kind of centers around this mass murder, which
Yeah, but I don't think it's on the nose. It resonates. This always struck me, going to the high place and you have your finger of fire. I mean, it is a very religious thing to do, to go up there and I'm going to decide. Researchers talk about how photographs that killers will often do will take from underneath themselves to make themselves look very big. And this is a very, it's like an altar in the sky.
Yeah, it's like Moses going to the top of the mountain.
It's Sinai, And then the fact that there was someone in the story that was a lost person, kind of a buried figure, made it interesting because that became a way into talking about these lost stories that were part of the story, that were not going to make the news exactly, but they were lost.